Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where today I am traveling through the mountains near Aldberg, looking for a wagon of crafters and loggers. This looks like a logger's wagon, but it doesn't look in very good shape. I don't see any sign of the loggers. I see blood. Well, looks like its tracks are heading towards the south. Well, let's see if we can find anything and if anyone's alive. But it looks like this group of crafters are not partying like the last one. Well, this warthound is not likely helping anything around here. Now the question is, do I shout and possibly attract the orcs? Or do I silently continue looking? Oh, look at this! What's inside?
We have tracked the orcs to the cave of Berg Sharpel, but will we find the captive craftsman in time?
The captured craftsman may not have much time left. Look! Dead orcs! I cannot tell if these orcs were slain by their own kind or by an unknown friend. Obviously by someone who doesn't like, well, at least that set of orcs. Alright, let's... Oh! Hey, can you hear that? I hear orcs approaching. Not from ahead of us, but from behind. I'll stay here to delay their approach. But you should press on into the cave to see what's become of my missing craftsmen. Perhaps one of them has escaped, and we will have them to thank for the dead orcs that we've seen already. But even so, they are likely still in danger. Go, and quickly! Okay. Well, more dead orcs. Let's see, anything else? You hear raised voices from further ahead, but can't make out any of the words. Different language, or is it just because of the acoustics of the area? Well, we can continue on our way. What's providing sustenance for all these shrubberies? Hold on. Ah! It looks like the crafters. You found a chamber of cages and... Oh! Nona! And Corridon! Hello there! I will tell you the story of how Corridon and I came here, Pinelore, but not just now. Let the tale wait until we're in the sunlight again. We've slain many orcs to free these people, but the woods crawled with more of their kind, and we should not tarry here. Is Horn here with you? Yeah, he wanted to be rear guard. Okay. Oh, hello, Corridon. It's good to see you again, Pinelore. We thought to find you in Edoras, but on the way we found an overturned wagon and as a sign of struggle, and thought to look for these folk. And I'm glad that we did, for today we have saved some lives. These orcs were ferocious. It is fortunate that most of the creatures were away when Nona and I entered the cave. So the ones that Horn is checking are the rest of the group, perhaps? Well, all you stay behind. Someone approaches. Or some many. Oh. Nona! Horn, look out! Oops. There you go. Oh, more of them. Completed! Orc Slayer of the Westament. Okay. That's good. Oh, more orcs. Oops. At last! I believe that was the end of them. Well, that's good to hear. This was a pleasant surprise. Now, let's return to town and see what tale Nona and Corden have to share. Okay, let's go. Oh, how did things go?
It is good to see you again. It was a happy meeting.
I can think of no better way to meet up with friends than to see them again in the thick of battle. It's a happy meeting. Corden and I made the journey to Forlaw with my recovered friends from Wildermore. Some families in Forlaw have opened their doors to them until my friends can find places of their own. We then rode to the river, and it was here that pride gave way to good sense. Rather than upset the guard at the crossing, Corden suggested that we find another place to cross the river. It wasn't that difficult. We planned to travel up to King's Seat, and then seek you and Horn. But before we left the forest, we heard the cries of orcs and diverted our course to follow them. Well, you know the rest. Okay. Well, what do you say about that, Corden?
It is good to see you again.
We would have rescued those people without incident, Pine-Lore, but I am glad that you appeared when you did in any event. Nona and I crossed the Entwash at the Narrows, south of the Guards Crossing. I thought that it would be the wisest course, and did not want to put Humboldt into an unfortunate position regarding his orders. Nona would have put him in an unfortunate position as well. Under the ground, I thought it might be best to avoid the Entwade altogether. That is what brought us to the Everholt, where I heard the orc attacks in the woods. We followed them into the cave, and that is where you enter the tale. It is good to see you again. Okay. So what do you say about that, Horn?
Tell Arso what we have accomplished. Then we should return to Edoras.
We are all back together again, and let the foes of Rohan beware. After we report to Archie, we should return to Edoras. We have done as we promised for both Eowyn and Eomer, but there is sure to be more than we can do for the people of the Mark. But first, let us tell Archie what happened to the workers and that went missing in the Everholt. Okay. Okie well, I suspect that the workers are going to be needing some rest before they return to that area. If they were willing to return there before the end of the war, that is. I found the wagon. The crafters were attacked by orcs, but some friends of mine helped them.
I cannot thank you and your friends enough.
Wildman and Torwolf were just left the hall, and they spoke at length of your actions on their behalf. They and I cannot thank you and your friends enough. All right, good. I'm glad they took that as my friends helped the crafters and rather than helping the orcs. Okay, because that would have been rather awkward if it were otherwise. Ooh, a nice ring.
You return now to Edoras. Go, with my good wishes.
I can't thank you enough for what you've done. You have aided Aldburg and its people in ways that I was unable to do myself. But I should not be surprised at your ability. After all, Eomer did send you to assist me. Amber possesses wisdom far beyond his years, and he uses it not just on the field of battle, but in times of peace as well. There have been fewer of those in recent memory, alas. You return now to Edoras. Go with my good wishes, and may you help the folk there as you have helped the people of Aldburg. All right, so it is time for us to return to Edoras. Ah, Edoras.
Speak with me when you are ready.
We have come once again to Edoras, this time in the company of both Corden and Nona. Are you ready to walk through the streets and speak once more to Eowyn? Let me know when you're prepared. Allies of Wormtongue could be anywhere, and we must remain alert. Yes, remain fully alert.
We have returned to Edoras, and should see how Eowyn fares with her duties.
Well, I hope better than when we left. This way, we will find Lady Eowyn and see how her efforts have progressed while we saw to the will of her brother in Aldburg. This way. Here you go. It looks like the children are hanging around. What, they don't have much to do at the moment? I think they'd be packing or something. Hello. Oh. It looks like we got a regular gang here. There she is, I told you. Greetings, children. How fares the city? Why should we tell you anything? Well, we've done nothing to cause you insult. What would your father say about this discourtesy? How should I know? They're all gone. Because of dunlendings like her. Nona's hands are clenched and her eyes are ablaze. Step aside, Findlar. I will not listen to these children speak ill of my people. Okay, but be careful. You need to learn something, weak-legged ones. Get out of here, dunlending witch. You know nothing of my land. We know enough. Your people want to kill us all. How many dunlendings have you slain, small one? What? How about you? How many dunlendings have you killed? None, of course. But I'm not of age. I've slain more than 24 dunlendings. They were allies of those who killed my brothers. They were servants of Saruman. Have you nothing now to say? Tick, 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 tick. Can you teach us how to fight? Ha! I didn't expect this turn, Pylor. It seems that our Nona has an effect even on the children of the Rohan. If Horn's not cautious, he may find that she has little time for him. So busy will she be instructing these children in swordplay. You should go on ahead, my friend, and find Eowyn outside of Mediceld. It may take us time to get there. Okay, all right. Oh, well. Now, let's see if we can find Eowyn. It looks like, well, I'll say it's strangely silent here, but I guess I should expect it to be a little silent, considering that people are probably getting their last moment preparations going on. Well, back up the hill. Hello, Eowyn. I am back from Aldburg and Underharrow. Eowyn listens to your report. I fear we did not root out all of Grima's allies when last you were here in Edoras, Pylor. I believe someone interferes with my efforts to empty the city. Someone cut holes in the sacks of grain that we set by, and damaged the wheels of one wagon I did not think needed guarding. Chelflad saw a suspicious figure flee the city to the north. Speak with her and see if she can provide you with any description of the man. If we do not know his appearance, we will not be able to prevent him from doing more damage. Should he return, find her outside the house to the northeast. Okay, dokie. So, a suspicious man was fleeing the city, and I guess they figure that it's possible that he could return and infiltrate us if we do not know what he looks like. Okay, and here we are, and we have Chillflood. I will help you with anything that I can, Pine Lore, if it will help Lady Eowyn catch this man. Ask me what you will, and I will tell you what I remember of the man that I saw. Okay. Alright, what do we got here? Okay, what did you see? This morning, shortly after sunup, I walked through the lanes of the city. I want to impress upon my memory every detail of this, my home. It was a sad walk down the gates. Just inside the gates a wagon was waiting with for supplies to be loaded. Standing next to it, in the shadows, I saw a man. Right, and it wasn't the wagon driver or anything like that? Alright, what was he wearing? Oh, he crouched by the wagon, and I saw that his boots were caked with mud. He wore yellow or brown leather with a strap over one of his shoulders. I saw the glint of the sun on the chain in the early morning light. Okay. So, that doesn't look all that unusual. Okay. Are you sure about how he was dressed? Yes, I am fairly certain. Well, actually, now I think of it, I believe that he may have worn a red brooch around his neck. The setting was gold or very polished bronze, but the gem in the middle glowed red in the light of the dawn. Red, interesting. Anything else? Was his hair distinctive? I can't really remember the style in which he wore his hair, but its color was light in the dawn. I am put in mind that it could have been an amber hue, but I cannot say for certain. In other words, hair that you would probably find in Rohan. His hair was rather shaggy, but he was crouched by the wagon and it might have fallen free from the binding with the effort that he exerted. I see. And you're certain about the hair? Yes, I will not swear to it. I can't be certain on that. Okay, very well. Right. Okay, what about you? Oh, my husband has gone to war with Theoden King, and now I must wait for his return. We have been told that we cannot wait here at our homes, but must go to Dunharrow. Okay, well, I think we got everything. Oh, Eowyn. Eowyn listens to the description that you obtained from Chaelflood and nods excitedly. Very good, Pine Lore, but we need confirmation and may now be able to obtain it. Another citizen of Edoras is claiming to have seen this man. Follow the road to the north and speak with Elfberg. If her description matches that of Chaelflood, we might be able to trust their memory of this man. All right, good. It's best not to have only one, especially considering that she only saw it in the light of dawn. Not exactly the best light in which one can have in order to get a good description of somebody. Well, I think this is the person in question. Alright, yes, Elfberg. Alright, tell me about yourself. Oh, I've lived in Edoras all my life, baking bread for the king's board. Now we must go to Dunharrow until he returns from the war. I don't know if the city will remain when we return, if we return. And yeah, cheery greetings to you too. Yeah, right. So what did you see? Oh, I wake early on most mornings. Well, seeing that you're a baker, I guess that's no huge shock. And this day, I had difficulty sleeping. When I went to the storehouse to count the sacks of grain that I needed to bring to Dunharrow, I saw that the sacks were split and the grain spilled across the floor. I despaired of the sight, and then espied a man fleeing down the road. Ooh, okay, that sounds like a possible villain. So, what do you look like? What was he wearing? Oh, he ran with great haste, and I didn't get a good look at him. I think that he wore black leather over chainmail, but the mail was mostly covered. I caught only a few flashes of silver. It was very dark, okay, in mail, but that's pretty typical. And certain about the dress? Well, perhaps not. It was dark. I think perhaps the leather he wore might not be as dark as I thought at first. Perhaps it was more brown than black. The sun wasn't up yet when I saw him, and it was dark in the lane. Okay, yes. And the other person saw it just at dawn. So, yes, colors that are hard to tell during that time of day. Was his hair distinctive? Oh, his hair was long and blond. His appearance was very much that of a man of Rohan. Well, that's not going to be a help. It will make him more difficult to find, I expect. Yeah, that's no doubt on that matter. And was he holding anything? He had an axe in his hand. It must be what he used to tear open the sacks of grain. An axe? I thought a knife would have been more handy for that, but okay. I guess you use what you have. Did he have a beard? Yes, a blonde one. Did I mention that? No, you didn't. Okay. And do you remember anything else? Yes, there was one more thing. He wore a brooch on his neck, fastened by a clasp. I saw the gemstone in the center glinting as he ran. It put me in mind of a blood-red eye. Blood-red eye. Thank you. Well, in other words, sounds like the most distinctive thing is this brooch with the red gem. Yes, there are many men in blonde hair and beards in Rohan, and this brooch sounds distinctive. A red gemstone in the shape of an eye is not common adornment amongst our people. This is how we find the treacherous snake, and keep him from doing further hurts upon Eowyn or her people. Okay. Let's go to Eowyn together and tell her what we have learned of this man. Right, let's go. I hope that helps us to trace him.
A picture begins to form.
The writings that you recovered from Grima's chambers spoke in vague and shrouded terms, in order to keep the identities of his allies a secret. But we have found some few of them already. Hebecca, Leofing, and Forthair have been defeated or imprisoned for their part in Grima's schemes. But it seems that there was a fourth conspirator. It seems that he used several names, among them Ednoth and Golding. There may have been more that we don't know of. It is interesting about this. There must have been someone other than Grima holding the schemes here, because if everything seems to be falling apart, what's holding this person to the old one? You think he'd just fade in and just forget about the whole thing? But now we have a common thread. Our mysterious foe seems overly fond of a blood-red brooch, and it is by this jewelry that you will know him. We can't risk his return. Only by tracking the secret enemy can we ensure that he doesn't return to cause deadlier mischief. All right.
Our mysterious foe seems to have fled Edoras to the north.
He seems to have fled. There are a few settlements to the north, but my guess is that he's making his way for Stoke in the Broadacres. You and your companions travel with haste to Stoke, there to see if you can apprehend this ally of Grima Wormtongue before he can wreak further mischief. Reeve of Frithith rules in Stoke, and she has an inspiration to me since I was very young. Her strength is second to no man, and she has earned the respect of all those who dwell in her riding. Still, this is not the sort of danger to which she is best suited. She faces enemies that attack over the fields and engage in open battle, not snakes in the grass that strike from in hiding. Bring news of this secret foe to her, and warn her that he may lurk within Stoke. I do not know what evil webs that he might yet spin. Ooh. Will we be able to find the snake and catch him? Well, we'll have to find that out in the next episode of The Lore of the Shadow.